Now let's see where we can change our invoice messages and invoice headers. So let's talk about invoice messages first. In quadrant number 2, because we are now talking about actual invoices, go into the invoice you want to change the message for. So we're going to view option here, and at the bottom there is a text box that says invoice message, and right next to it there is the binocular, so you can just simply click on that, and this will pull up a lookup invoice message screen. So if you're going to search, then this will pull up all your messages that you set up in the invoice message table. Now there is the default, so this is my current default, and so every invoice you create as you do a turn-in, it'll automatically pull in this text here, which you can change. Now let's suppose December 1st is here, the holiday season, and what I'll do is that you can go into setup and change the default to be this one where it says happy holidays blah 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 blah, and then come January 1 you can switch back to your standard. So you can change the default, and that's what is coming in. Now once the default message comes in, is that all it is? No, you can actually add your own notes here too. So if you want to add your own text, you can add your own message. If you want to say something extra special about this particular invoice, then you can add your own text on top of the default message you pull in from the invoice table. Now invoice header is something that you don't necessarily have to change under the normal circumstances, but sometimes I might have to pull in a different header. So to do that, you need to go into the quadrant number 3. That's because the header goes with each order, because you might have a multiple deponents for one invoice. So invoice header goes with each deponent. It's like a section on the bill. So double click into each order, and down here there is a field called invoice header, and normally it'll be blank because as we already saw, RB8 will automatically assemble the nice header for you based on the input, the service items you enter, whether the person is paying for copy or original and one, and so on and so forth. But sometimes you might have to change it. Now you can type in the header, invoice header, yourself here directly, or if you have already set up a bunch of headers yourself, then you can simply click this binoculars button to look up. So let's go search for all the headers that I already have. So sometimes it could be something like this where it says taken but not transcribed, deposition of, or it could be EUO, examination under oath, or it could be court proceedings, and so on and so forth. So these are the different headers you can already set up in the table and pull it into for each order. Or you have one-time header that you'll never ever use it again, then you can simply type it in here yourself as the custom header just for this invoice. Now let's talk about overriding rates. Now how do we override rates? That I know, looking at this quadrant number 4, we are charging $375 for ON1. That is my standard default price. But let's say our office really screwed up for this client, and client is really mad, and as a manager I decided to give client a break or discount on the rate because we really messed up on the production side. So I'm just going to view into that item. So I'm going to, let's say, right-click view or double-click into it. Now there is the $375 is the price for the client, and this reporter gets paid 70%, so that automatically calculates reporter to be paid $2.63. Now as I override by clicking the checkbox called override, I decided to give a client down to $3.25. I'm just giving a 50 cents per page discount because of our mistake to please the client. Now see what happened to the reporter's pay. reporter is now penalized because she's only getting $2.20, and I'm going to lose my reporter if I do this. So I have to override for the client without affecting the reporter pay. So what you can do is that I can now switch the reporter to dollar and then say I need to pay reporter $2.63 no matter what. So this is the one way you can give a client a discount and pay the reporter the same amount by overriding the checkbox and save and close.